Today's headlines. Philippines ready for Omicron. Bong Go sends aid to La Union. Confidence building must be government focused. Eleazar highlights transport sector role. PAG coordinates 100 million evacuation centers in Calabarzon. NPA arms cache unearthed. Northeast monsoon to bring rains in Luzon and Visayas. Good morning, I'm Roy Palovelio and you're watching Tribune News on Q. Today is December 6, 2021, and here are the latest news of this Monday morning. The Department of Health on Sunday said the country's healthcare system is ready against a possible surge of infections brought by the newly detected Omicron variant. DOH Undersecretary and Treatment Czar Leopoldo Vega said in a radio interview that we are ready. They know what to do if ever the highly transmissible Omicron reaches the country. Initial information about Omicron describes it as a variant that has the ability to have at least 50 mutations to the spike protein, the structure of the virus that binds to cells. However, Vega said that experts are still trying to get more information about the new strain, which was first detected in South Africa. More than a year into the pandemic, Vega said the government is now more prepared to handle situations like this. The country's COVID-19 referral hospitals are now gearing up for a possible surge of infections amid the threat of the newly detected variant. Senator Bong Go urged the public to stay vigilant and supportive of the government's pandemic response efforts, even as the country sees a decline in active COVID-19 cases. As chair of the Senate Committee on Health and Demography, Go stressed the need to strictly observe the government's health guidelines to further reduce the number of COVID-19 related hospitalization and deaths. In a video message during relief operations in Bacnotan and San Fernando City, La Union on December 1, Go called for continued bayanihan efforts to keep the respective communities safe. He assured that the national government is doing its part to balance the public safety and economic survival for the best interest of Filipinos. The senator's staff distributed meals en masse to 1,839 recipients composed of typhoon victims, farmers, and hog raisers at Bacnotan National High School and Don Mariano Marcos Memorial State University Mid-La Union campus in San Fernando City. Go offered additional medical assistance to those with health concerns in line with his commitment to provide Filipinos with convenient access to quality healthcare services. He advised them to visit the Malasakit Center at Ilocos Training and Regional Medical Center in San Fernando City. First launched in Cebu in 2018, the Malasakit Center was successfully institutionalized under the Malasakit Centers Act, which Go principally authored and sponsored. It aims to improve the delivery of medical assistance to indigent patients by bringing together the relevant government agencies under one roof, including the DSWD, Department of Health, Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, and Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office. Economic managers wanted a shift in priorities for policies that would focus on preventing deaths instead of looking at infection numbers while ramping up vaccinations to spur confidence and in turn encourage higher growth for the economy. Socioeconomic Planning Secretary Carl Chua emphasized in an address that to facilitate a shift to an endemic mindset, the government needs to change the primary metrics used for decision-making and being reported to the public. Instead of total cases and deaths, Chua said the focus should be on the total severe or critical cases, the case fatality ratio, and total vaccinated. Chua, who is also head of the National Economic and Development Authority or NEDA, has proposed a 10-point policy agenda to accelerate the country's recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic and prepare the country for future pandemics. During his talk at the Asian Institute of Management on Wednesday, Chua emphasized the need to shift from a pandemic to an endemic paradigm, which will empower Filipinos to learn how to live with the virus. Chua also shared some initiatives under digital transformation, pandemic flexibility, and medium-term planning to prepare the country for future pandemics better. These include pending bills to improve telecommunication services, a pandemic flexibility bill to complement the Philippine Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Act, and the development of a pandemic playbook to take stock of lessons learned. Tribune News on Q will be back after these reminders.
Boto mo to Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Chris masaya, pagsama-sama.
Bong, yung naumpisahan ko, tapusin mo. Mga bagong highway, tulay, tren, dapat ma-enjoy na kaagad ng mga tao yan. Kailangan lahat bakunado at laging may ayuda pag kailangan. Huwag dapat makabalik ang mga drug lords para ligtas ang pamilya. Yung ginawa mong malasakit centers, maganda yan. Padamihin mo pa. Magkasama tayo. Tayo ang nagsimula, tuloy-tuloy lang, Bong.
Boto mo to Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Chris masaya, pagsama-sama.
We're back on Tribune News on Q. Former Philippine National Police Chief and Senatorial Aspirant General Guillermo Eleazar on Sunday called on the national government to provide the necessary support to the transport sector to hasten the country's economic recovery. In an interview with Daily Tribune, the senatorial candidate acknowledged the importance of the transport sector in reviving the economy that has been badly affected by COVID-19. The transport sector is one of the most affected sectors when the country implemented nationwide lockdowns due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The succeeding hike in fuel price recently also added burden to the drivers and operators, while corruption deprived them of the opportunity to get the assistance provided by the government. Eleazar also urged the government to distribute as quickly as possible the 1 billion peso aid to all public utility vehicles PUV drivers who were affected by the recent fuel price hikes. The retired general, who advocated against cotton caps when he became the chief of the PNP, also said that he will include in his legislative agenda the fight against corruption to ensure that the fund intended for the public will be felt by the ordinary people and not go to the pockets of the select few. He also accepted the challenge of Partido Reforma standard bearers Panfilo Ping Lacson and Vicente Tito Soto to push for the welfare of the transport personnel by formulating a TODA Welfare Act. Two more towns near Taal Volcano received 100 million peso funding from the Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation or PAGCOR for the constructions of multi-purpose evacuation centers as the agency continues to augment the government's disaster preparedness and management measures in high-risk areas, including Calabarzon. The active state of the Taal volcano and its heavy eruptions in 2020 placed Calabarzon in the priority areas of PAGCOR's MPEC project. Calabarzon, which consists of Cavite, Laguna, Batangas, Rizal, and Quezon, unfortunately suffers from floods and typhoons, apart from the dangers of volcanic eruptions. Both the municipalities of Laurel in Batangas and Calauin in Laguna formally received 50 million pesos, each worth of MPEC during the groundbreaking ceremonies on December 3, 2021. Its recipient local government received the initial 25 million pesos, which represents the first tranche of funding to kickstart the construction of the evacuation centers. The PAGCOR-funded evacuation facility in Laurel will soon rise in Barangay San Gregorio. Laurel Mayor Joan Lumbres Amo also expressed gratitude to the State Gaming Corporation for the big project accorded them. Launched in 2020, PAGCOR's MPEC project now has released a total of 1.359 billion pesos to kickstart the construction of 59 MPECs nationwide. The amount represents the first tranche or 50% of PAGCOR's committed funding for the project. Areas which already received MPEC funding from PAGCOR include the provinces of Batangas, Laguna, Quezon, Cavite, Cagayan, Pampanga, Albay, Camarines Sur and Norte, Mountain Province, Kalinga, Ilocos Sur, Zamboanga del Sur, Romblon, Capiz, Samar, Tarlac, Aurora, Bataan, Eastern and Southern Leyte, Pangasinan, Isabela, Catanduanes, Oriental and Occidental Mindoro, Isabela, and Caloocan. The country's military forces discovered hidden 34 high-powered firearms and explosives in the mountains of Esperanza Town, believed to be the arms cache of the New People Army. 7th Infantry Battalion Commander Lieutenant Colonel Romel Valencia said the discovery of the arms cache buried in a shallow grave in a forested area of Barangay Marquez, Esperanza came after a tip-off from civilians. He noted that after receiving the information, Valencia sent 1st Lieutenant Sonny Telino, commander of 7th Infantry Battalion Alpha Company, to the site for verification and confirmation, and disclosed that the firearms belong to the NPA Far South Regional Committee base operating in the foothills of the Daguma Range. The firearms are now at the 7th Infantry Battalion headquarters in Barangay Calawag 2 of this town. The Communist Party of the Philippines, or CCP, and its armed wing NPA are listed as a terrorist organization by the United States, the European Union, the United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and the Philippines. The National Democratic Front, meanwhile, has been formally designated as a terrorist organization by the Anti-Terrorism Council on June 23, 2021, citing it as an integral and separate part of the CPP-NPA created in April 1973. Tribune News on Q will be back. Stay with us.
Botomoto Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Chris Masaya, pagsama-sama. Katribu, hanap mo ba ay food to satisfy your cravings, essential products o ano paman? Sagot ka namin dito sa tindahan ni Tarsi. Halina't tuklasin, kilalanin at alamin ang kwento sa likod ng iba't ibang produkto at negosyo mula sa ating Pinoy local entrepreneurs na tiyak papatok sa'yo. Samahan natin si Tarsi simula November 16 na mapapanood sa programang Gising na mula alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng umaga sa Facebook page ng Daily Tribune at Tribune Now on YouTube. Alamin ang latest entertainment at sa mga paborito niyong celebrities kasama si Pocholo Concepcion sa programang What's Up. Makibanding at kwentuhan kasama ang mga kilalang personalidad sa entertainment industry. Sama-sama natin silang kilalanin at silipin ang makulay nilang mundo every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Kaya sit back and relax lang kayo mga katribu. Hanapin at ilike ang Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now on YouTube. Dahil sagot na namin ang masayang kwentuhan dito lang sa What's Up. Mga katribu, tara na't makiisa at matuto sa mga public service programs hatid ng Kalingang Katribu. Tuwing Lunes, nandyan ang usapang business na magbibigay tips at inspirasyon sa mga aspiring entrepreneurs kasama sina Compi Manalo at Vernon Velasco. Tuwing Miyerkules, usapang pangkalusugan naman ang tatalakayin ni Miss Cory Quirino sa Health and Wellness. At tuwing Biyernes naman, kung legal advice ang kailangan mo, sagot ka na ng Legal Diaries kasama si Elmer Navarro Manuel at mga guest lawyers. Lahat ng niya mapapanood tuwing alas 3:30 ng hapon sa Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now on YouTube. Mga impormasyong direktang makukuha mula sa sources at diretsahang usapan. Yan ang atid namin sa inyo sa programang Straight Talk. Samahan nyo kami sa makabuluhang talakayan live tuwing Martes alas 10 ng umaga sa official Facebook page ng Daily Tribune at Tribune Now on YouTube.
Botomoto Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Chris Masaya, pagsama-sama.
You're still watching Tribune News on Q. The Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration, or PAGASA, on Monday said that the shear line is currently affecting the eastern section of Mindanao, while the northeast monsoon is expected to bring rains in Luzon and Visayas. According to the Weather Bureau, Caraga and Davao region will have cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and thunderstorms, while Cagayan Valley, Cordillera Administrative Region, Aurora, and the northern portion of Quezon, including Polillo Islands, will have cloudy skies with light rains. Metro Manila, the rest of Luzon, and the rest of Visayas and Mindanao will be partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated light rains. Temperature will range from 20.4 degrees Celsius to 31 degrees Celsius. That wraps up the stories this morning. Before we go, we would like to thank the following: the SM Store, the Department of Tourism, Araneta City, MG Motors, Hina Motors, Security Bank and Overseas Community Affairs Council member Alan Lin of Republic of China for their continued support. Again, this is Roy Pilovelio on Tribune News on Q, reminding you that we only have 19 days until Christmas. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay at home. Good morning.
Catch the latest news on our website, tribune.net.ph. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tribune Now. Download the Daily Tribune app on Apple Store for iOS and Google Play for Android to get the latest and most comprehensive news online. Daily Tribune invites you to join its vibrant community, Katribu, to get updates on the hottest news on politics, business, sports, lifestyle, and entertainment. Emoticons of the Tribune mascot Tercito are available on our community Viber.